Matson Navigation, serving Guam and Micronesia for 20 years. All new 2018 Kona by Hyundai, available at Cars Plus. IP&E, fueling excellence. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it, and King's Restaurant, located in Tamuning and Dededo. Always open, always local.
Ahead on Primetime, an internal affairs investigation into a deadly prison beating is near completion. Plus, senators called into special session one day after the governor delivers his State of the Island address. And teens from the home of the Sharks voice growing frustration over delays to rebuild their Jigo campus. Hafa and good evening. Will any of the corrections officers be held accountable? It was last week we learned the details of the murder at the Agana lockup from last December. Detainee Edward Manson Usar was beaten back to back by multiple prisoners right before taking his last breath. He was even raped. Tonight, leading up to DOC's release of the internal affairs investigation at the end of the week, we speak with the director of the prison. Crystal Paco has tonight's top story.
Just how secure is the Agana lockup? Prison Director Tony Lamarana explains it could be the facility's layout that afforded multiple prisoners access to a revenge attack on Edred Manson Usar last December.
It's a very old facility that was built over 20 years ago. So there are some situations, for example, all the cells there are wet cells, which have bathrooms. But again, because of the deterioration of the facility and the lack of funding, there are some cells where they don't have functioning toilets.
Lack of functioning toilets in jail cells has resulted in an open bay layout.
If you look at the Agana facility, there is common area. There's an eating area, where they can watch TV, where they can have meals. And so there are situations where, detainees will congregate within that area.
As reported last week, Elas Simran, Andrew Rios, Albert Sanchez II, Benster Benjamin, Eisler Miller, Jimmy Hadley, and Marvin Rechem were arrested and charged with the murder and rape of Usar. Court documents state Rechem and Benster allegedly kicked and punched Usar before telling him to go to the next jail cell where he was allegedly beaten by Sanchez. The violence continued. Hadley, Cimarron, and Miller each making blows at Usar before he faced off with Rios. Rios is accused of digitally penetrating an already helpless Usar. Court documents state Usar's cellmates changed his clothes at one point because Usar had urinated and defecated on himself. They didn't tell corrections officers in fear they'd be targeted next.
Again, when detainees are brought in, we evaluate them for their temperament, make sure, if we feel that they're endangering other individuals, we put them in another situation. But with evaluating them and making sure that, they wouldn't be an endangerment to any other people, we keep them in that situation.
While business has returned to usual at the lockup, Lamarana admits it's a daily struggle to keep security in place.
I'll be honest with you, there are situations where certain posts are short-staffed as a result of that. We've changed the schedule now to 12-hour schedules, 5 days a week, 2 days off, which is taxing on the officers.
DepCorp's internal affairs investigation on the incident will be complete by Friday. Lamarana says he will review their findings before making any decisions on how to proceed. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Crystal Paco.
Doctor's orders may have kept him out of jail, but his declining health won't stop the court from ordering Serafin Pablo to surrender next month. In court on Wednesday, Judge Vern Perez heard from Pablo's doctor as well as Dr. Larry Lazama, who heads DOC's medical unit. Though media was barred from hearing anything about Pablo's health records, Judge Perez in open court stated DOC proved ability to care for Pablo while incarcerated. Pablo, who is 74 years old, is a former math teacher convicted of second-degree criminal sexual conduct as a first-degree felony and set to serve 5 years behind bars. Though parties are set to return to court at a later date to argue a reduced sentence, Pablo will still be required to report to prison on March 1st. The governor called senators into special session Wednesday seeking immediate action on his bill to raise the business privilege tax to 50%. This would replace an estimated $67 million in lost revenue as a result of the Trump tax reforms. But the administration fiscal team projects that increasing the BPT from 4% to 6% will generate $120 million. And Calvo also plans to use some of the money for the hospital and education. Senators met but adjourned shortly after. with Speaker B.J. Cruz setting a series of public hearings on the governor's bill.
Public as much opportunity to provide testimony on 1-2S. I'm adjourning today's session, but with the understanding, I want it understood, and I want the governor and the people to understand that we are moving with this at a very special pace.
The Speaker plans to hold session a week from Friday. He also released an alternative plan to raise BPT by 25% instead of 50% to roll back the 2014 GovGuam pay raises and to reduce the budgets for the governor and the legislature. Meanwhile, the governor issued a reminder to senators of an AG's opinion stating it's the legislature's duty to establish taxes and they don't have the authority to delegate the responsibility. Well, first, the sign of the governor would be calling for that special session happened during his final State of the Island address Tuesday night. Dozens of island officials and government heads filled the seats of the session hall at the Guam Congress building. Numerous issues were brought up, including strengthening public safety, increasing employment, renovating schools, promoting tourism, and, of course, returning tax refunds.
My dear people of Guam, to date, we have put more than $1.3 billion in tax refunds into the pockets of our people. And we're returning your money.
You can watch his full address on the Guam Legislature's YouTube page. While you can take a look at the governor's entire address on our website, Keanu Mendiola has a reaction.
In his final State of the Island address, Governor Calvo mentioned some critical issues facing our island and its people, including federal policies, tax reformation, hospital funding, and decolonization. Additionally, throwing out his own proposals on how to rectify them and emphasizing the importance of the people. KUAM caught up with local officials after to get their reactions, like Guam Memorial Hospital Director Peter John Camacho.
Governor's speech is very well said. He had wonderful points, and I think closing out where he talked about taking care of the hospital's needs and also the government's needs. I mean, it's all about the people of Guam.
Guam Police Chief J.I. Cruz.
I think the governor's speech was very much depicted his sentiments of his legacy over the last 7 years. I really appreciated how passionate he was about the people of Guam and how everything that he said this evening was about supporting the employees of the government of Guam.
And also DEPCOR Director Tony Lamarena.
Quite powerful. It brought it home that a lot of the economic issues that we currently face are a result of unfunded federal mandates. So, the governor's on point in regards to saying to the federal government, look, if you're going to require us to follow your federal mandates, you need to assist us.
Governor Calvo's words made an impression on GovGuam officials, and despite differences, so did his call for unity among the branches of local government. We even got input from both parties.
Well, I think he highlighted that we have a lot of work ahead of us. He called for unity, which is what Guam has been very good at when times are good and especially when times are a little threatening. So, we look forward to just working through and continuing to be together as one island.
I was very happy that at the end he acknowledged the fact that we are going to have to work together to try to prevent us going off this fiscal cliff.
It looks like officials are hopeful that coming together as one Guam will bring us through the challenges we face. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Keanu Mendiola.
7 years and at least 7 bills later, the rebuilding of Simon Sanchez High School remains at a standstill. Senators held a hearing Wednesday on the latest measure to resolve the long-delayed project. Nestor Lecanto reports.
No one argues that the dilapidated, more than 40-year-old school needs fixing, but multiple protests have stymied the construction bid award. A bill by Senator Frank Uggan Jr. seeks a remedy by transferring procurement authority from Public Works to the Education Department. Superintendent John Fernandez.
We're hopeful that this time we can be successful in making this dream a reality.
Fernandez has been working with stakeholders on a two-step procurement process that separates the construction solicitation from planning, design, and financing. Original winning bidder Guam Education Finance Foundation is represented by Director Phil Flores, and protesting bidder Cortec is represented by attorney Joyce Tang.
Accordingly, GEEF supports 204 and the two-phase approach. However, we believe there are several revisions to the markup version that should be included for clarification.
We have advocated that DOE be the procuring agency, and I'm happy to see that it has come to pass.
However, both offered their share of proposed changes to the bill, which Fernandez says he is open to including if it improves the procurement process.
We just want to be able to do the best we can and have the flexibility to make the right decisions, notwithstanding the prior difficulties that have been seen under the prior procurement efforts.
Sanchez students have been waiting a long time, and senior Andrea Lumba says, just get it done.
You fail us by letting us continue to attend our classes at this dump site we make believe a school. We are sick and tired of this. We are sick and tired of sitting on public hearings, protests, and repeating the same concerns and requests that we all know you guys are sick and tired of hearing. Stop the bleeding and give my school the surgery it needs.
For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Pay the landowner Nan Chol Shin Trust part of the $245,000 owed, negotiate to give them more time, or do double session. That's some of the suggestions in the action plan for Guahan Academy Charter School. Today is the day GACS was told they'd have to pack up and move out. Parents, though, still concerned that no letter was sent home and there's no communication on the school's website. Carmen Salahi has the story.
Parents of students at Guahan Academy Charter School dropped their kids like it was any other school day. But when asked if they received the unsettling news.
And have you heard about the eviction notice for the school?
No, I don't hear yet, Mom.
So you haven't heard anything?
No, only my son says that about that. I don't get it seriously about that.
Yeah.
So, well, I ask him today again, then we find out what's going on.
Okay.
No, I haven't heard through the admin. Found about it through the news media. And I am very much concerned because I have a girl who's ready to graduate in 2 years. And then my children love it here. I just wish they would change the board members, and I wish they would change the administrators.
This parent, who asked not to be identified, told KUAM that she's been concerned about the mismanagement of funds that she claims can be traced back to leadership.
There's been a lot of concern about the mismanagement of funds, and I think initially the school started off great with Dwiggins. Then when she and her administration was changed, it started to go downhill. If they cried that the funds were mismanaged, then why weren't the leadership, the board members and the principals changed or investigated right away? And if they were mismanaging the funds, then maybe they should have done something quickly to save the school.
Ultimately, parents hoping for the best for their children.
I am hurt from my children. My children are very hurt too. And they want to remain and they're hoping the school will improve, but it's actually beyond our hands.
Yeah. Improvements so that stakeholders here no longer have to worry whether or not classes will be in session. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Carmen Victoria Terlahi.
Now, it's unclear, but assumed school will continue tomorrow for GACS, and there's a possible meeting for parents on Thursday at 3 in the afternoon. You can read the proposed action plan on our website. The legislature must act quick. They are coming up on the 45-day deadline to give statutory approval on the settlement agreement in Guam DOE Superintendent John Fernandez's lawsuit against the Guam Education Board in their individual capacity. The push is now a measure that went up for discussion during a public hearing today. Already faced with making difficult budget cuts, how can Guam DOE afford to pay out the settlement in the case between Superintendent John Fernandez and the Guam Education Board? GEB Chairman Mark Mendiola.
With the litigation that has gone on and with the Attorney General's commitment that the Attorney General's office will represent the board in any litigation henceforth, we did not procure the services of another legal counsel, but rather we have funding set aside for legal services for the board, and so we intend to use that within our budget to settle this case. This case has dragged on long enough, and we believe that if we continue on the case, it can potentially cost
How much did you set aside?
$60,000.
You set aside $60,000 for legal counsel?
Yes.
The terms of the settlement includes paying $60,000 in legal fees and wiping his record clean, removing Title IX allegations against him. This was the discussion on what is now Bill 235, which would approve the settlement in the case. Supportive testimony given from most, like Board Vice Chair Maria Gutierrez.
I was the board chair when we signed this agreement on October 27, 2017. So I'm here to support, and I ask the legislature to please, if possible, put this in your next agenda. We need to get this resolved. It's unfortunate that it happened, but I know that you are looking for what is in the best interest for the Department of Education.
Deputy Attorney General Kenneth Orcutt calls the proposed resolution reasonable.
The basis for the $60,000 to be paid to Mr. Fernandez is based upon the provision in the law that allows a plaintiff in a civil rights action against the government of Guam for injunctive relief to obtain attorney's.
The bill's author, Senator Joseph Augustine, says he hopes to bring the measure up for discussion during their upcoming session. Well, stick around for more news here on Primetime. You're watching KUAM.
There are more ways to experience KUAM News than any other source on Guam. Download the KUAM News app for your Apple or Android device for 24/7 news, sports, videos, weather, streaming with KUAM radio, and important news alerts. And stay connected at home with Guam's first app for Apple TV. All available now from the App Store.
Half the day, I'm in the club.
Half a day, welcome to Two Lovers Point.
Half a day, I'm in the club.
Leave no room for doubts this Valentine's Day by heading to IT&E. For February only, get your boo the Samsung Galaxy Note 8 for just $59. And for the Apple lovers, get the 10 for just $199 on the 40 gig 4G LTE data plan. Or two S8s for just $199 on a share plan. This sweetheart deal is available for a limited time only.
And Mighty has the trucks. And during Ram Truck Month, save up to $97.50 on new Ram trucks. Cars Plus has a great selection of 2018 Ram trucks. Plus, shop our remaining 2017 Ram 1500s. Voted Guam's best truck 2 years in a row. The Ram truck comes with a 5-year, 60,000-mile powertrain warranty. And with 1.99 APR financing for qualified buyers, there's no better time to buy than now. It's Ram Truck Month, and only Cars Plus and Mighty has the trucks. Cars Plus, driven by you.
They don't want these coming out. Mexican spices? Nacho cheese sauce?
Critics and fans agree. Nacho fries are a masterpiece. It'll change the way you look at fries, craves the Hollywood Reporter. Nacho fries, now serving at a Taco Bell near you.
Find us on your favorite social media platform. Follow us and stay in the know with Guam's news leader.
Welcome back. Shut down after roaches were found at Coco Cabana on Cocos Island. During a regular inspection, public health officers found live cockroach activity. Pests were getting in through gaps from openings in the door and wall. A similar violation in restrooms where there was no mesh screen, leaving the door wide open for pests. The female restroom was also cited for not being fully enclosed, no hot running water for employees to wash their hands, and the trash lacking a fully covered lid marks another entry for unwanted pests. They failed with a D rating and 51 demerits. A local carrier is issuing a stern warning after they discovered an unknown third party posing as their organization and sending fraudulent offers to customers. IT&E posting on social media that the email tells customers they were randomly selected to receive a free iPhone 10 or X and that they must fill out an online survey to get it. The company, however, says they did not approve or send out such messages. They are also asking customers not to click on the link attached. For more information, you can contact any of the IT&E offices. Well, calling all couples keep their romance alive with Spark. Crystal Paco shows us more.
If you want to go beyond chocolates and flowers this Valentine's holiday, enrich your relationship without breaking the bank.
Essentially what it is, it's a fun, interactive, and dynamic way for couples to come together, learn how to communicate, learn more about each other's personality styles.
Asia Ramos is a program coordinator with WestCare Pacific Islands Spark, formerly known as the Guam Healthy Relationship Program. Married or simply committed, it's a free service to give couples the upper hand when it comes to making a love that lasts.
It is not therapy, and it really isn't about something's wrong with our relationship and we have to come in. While we do have a lot of couples who sign up who are looking for a way to, get past some barriers in the relationship, it really is about strengthening the existing connection.
Learn how to keep the chemistry alive and, more importantly, the communication lines open. Lovers, after all, may speak different love languages.
One partner might be about gift giving, and so, big gestures of affection really means a lot to that person. Another partner might be more about physical affection, and so cuddling and snuggling is something they really revel in.
And in a world where so many call it quits, and the local church even acknowledging a high divorce rate on island, workshops like Spark will help you beat the odds.
When people take premarital education, they're less likely to have a divorce than others.
All are welcome. The only requirement is that you be in a committed relationship and at least one of the participants be between the ages of 18 and 35.
We're open to all couples. That also differentiates us a little bit from other programs that may be out there, is that we're all open to couples regardless of gender, regardless of sexual orientation. We invite all couples to come to us, and we're a safe, open, welcoming environment.
88 couples participated last year with rave reviews. For more information, call WestCare at 472-0218 extension 111 or follow them on any of their social media pages. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Crystal Paco.
Thousands of Catholics lined up at parishes island-wide today in honor of Ash Wednesday. Ash Wednesday marks the beginning of the Lenten season. It's marked by 40 days of fasting, sacrifice, and prayer leading up to Easter Sunday. Well, there's nothing like a great sale, especially if you're shopping for the right AC for your home. Carmen Salahi has this week's Think Green.
Think Green, presented by GPA, bringing energy solutions to you.
Agbayani ACC Air Conditioning, located right near the subway in Agana, was all decked out for Valentine's Day. With love in the air, they have tips on how their ACC ACs keep that air cool.
With the DC inverter units, it's supposed to control that temperature around that room. So if you input like a demand temperature, what you do is you can basically leave it on the whole day. You don't have to turn it on or off as you go. It's supposed to regulate that temperature. That's what makes it save energy.
Robin Valdez, project engineer assistant, says it's the DC inverter that cuts customers' power bills. Not to mention that when they buy a unit, GPA's rebate program helps them save money.
With the GPA rebate program that we actually have it with these units. These are they range from a SEER rating from 22.5 to 16 SEER. And the BTU sizes go from 9,000 to 36.
What I get from customer reviews is monthly they'd save about $40 to $50 from their power bill.
Kimberly Rabena is a sales rep that tells us the rebate program is as easy as filling out a form and bringing it to GPA. Agbayani also prides itself on its service and an extended warranty that comes with no additional charge.
Our warranty comes with 3 years parts and labor, 3 years of preventive maintenance, and 7 years of compressor.
If you have like the 25 or whatever SEER rating and you don't get it maintained and it gets dirty and that gets clogged up, it's not going to perform to its highest efficiency.
If you happen to be in the market for a new AC, they have sales for their 10th anniversary happening all week, ending with a special event on Saturday at noon.
We're giving away free ACs, we're giving away a lot of other prizes.
Well, sports is next, but first, here's weather.